This is one of those frame pieces that excavator might not handle it.
So this motor right here, guys, has been an absolute nightmare.
We're gonna have to pretty much rip this whole motor apart.
Dude, we can't catch a break.
Oh.
Dang.
All right, so before this video gets started, guys, let's go ahead and throw an exhaust on the giveaway ZR1.
Time to wakey the neighbors.
Alright, so that right there is the perfect sound for this car with that new Corsa valved exhaust. It's not too obnoxious, it's actually the perfect aggressive sound, and it looks good while doing it, guys. And don't forget, guys, there's a little less than 2 weeks left of this $150,000 ZR1 plus $30,000 cash on top. So what we're gonna do for 24 hours only is 90x entries, so get your entries locked in. Be sure to visit gunsquad.com, check out all the official rules, and you might be the one.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're gonna continue working on the wrecked 2024 Nissan GTR, and the challenge is still going. We're gonna try to rebuild the sucker completely here at the house. And as you guys seen previously, we already tore apart a bunch of this front end where the majority of the damage was, and we really just wanted to see if there's any more hidden damages, and so far it ain't looking too good. And also we did tear off this rear bumper right here because we do have some damages back here, mainly in this quarter panel right here, a little bit in this trunk area, but you know what, that's the least of our concerns. We got some bigger fish to fry.
So there's two main reasons why we got to pull this motor. The number one is, of course, we got to replace these frame rails, and number two, the engine does have some lower engine damage, and we got this piece right here that's going to be completely replaced. So we're going to go ahead, see what we can do with the tools that we got here, and see if we can pop this engine out of the car.
First thing that we got to figure out is how to get this frame rail a little bit over, because the motor ain't coming out unless this frame rail is over to the side. So who has some ideas?
Strap it to the UPS truck and pull it with the skid steer. We just need some chains.
That's all we need. What is your idea, David?
He's thinking about 2 Surons chains, one going that way.
Dude, the track hawk hooked up here and the skid steer holding it there, you know what I mean?
Track hawk? We don't have a track hawk. We got a ball hawk.
Oh no, only front brakes. Look at that. Random excavator. Look, we got a chain right here, dude. Don't turn. Don't turn.
The frame machine has arrived.
So that actually went extremely well. Pretty much, I think it's actually stronger than our frame machine itself, because that pulled that sucker exactly where we needed to go. Got it all opened up here. That one's already spread that way, so it's perfect. We're not even gonna mess with it. Now we can go ahead and start getting at the motor pretty much.
Yes, sir. And I think Tsunami Uyama would be proud of what we just did right there.
Dude,
because
that guy better be watching, because we're gonna take good care of this thing.
dude, actually, you know what?
We can all put our names on it now.
That's right.
After we put that little oil pan thing on.
No, that might be a little disrespectful because all we're doing is just the upper oil pan. But anyways, let's keep moving. How are we gonna get this motor
Now we
out?
need to put the car back inside the garage and try to get it on those quick jacks. Get up under there and just tear the drive shaft off, suspension, everything, and see if we can get this thing out.
Next day here, guys. Engine is almost out of the GTR, but before we pop that sucker out, we're gonna hit a quick workout. Ice plunge sauna, 100 pull-ups. 98, 99, 100, 100.
99. 100.
I can't do it, dude. The kneecaps are frozen. Oh man,
There's not even any ice in here.
it's ice. It's one big ice. Ooh.
Hi guys, let's go back to work. You needed something to do, not sit over here.
Check this out, guys. So we are underneath here, and the beauty of the Nissan GTR, the transmission is in the back, dude.
Oh yeah, and
That's
no
awesome.
torque tubes, just 2 drive shafts, one for the front wheels, one going to the back.
Wow. So we literally just got to disconnect this, that, I think some lines for the transmission cooler right there. And that should be pretty much it,
Should
dude.
be it. I mean, I think we're even gonna drop it with the subframe, so it'll be a little bit easier. We just gotta remove some suspension on that side and pop some lines out, some electrical lines, some fuel lines, and hopefully she just pops right out, honestly.
Secret button.
What are you thinking?
Dude, what if we just switch that button?
I don't know.
Like anti-lag.
That's it.
She out?
See what a cold plunge does?
It is finally out, guys. The VR38 motor out of that GTR. And I gotta say, it was a pretty dang simple process. The most difficult part was probably just pulling the wiring harness from underneath the dash. But I mean, everything else was super simple. Let's just give you guys a quick walk around. Of course, transmission is in the back, so this is just a bell housing right here. Pretty interesting, honestly, how that all works. You know, you got 2 drive shafts right in through that tunnel right there. You got the whole transfer case in the back as well. And you got the front diff right in here. It's kind of like a tiny differential, but that is pretty dang neat, dude. That's why I love the GTR, mainly because it's twin turbo and all-wheel drive, and these things can handle a ton of power too, man. But as far as the damages goes, I mean, the subframe is completely just toasted. We barely got that out, the whole motor out, because that was like jammed up in there. And also, what is this pipe? That looks like just like some sort of intercooler pipe, I think.
It's a turbo inlet pipe,
or some sort of inlet pipe. It's aluminum. That's a super easy part to fix. Got some pulley damage right here. And of course, the main damage is definitely in the bottom right there. And hopefully there's no other damage. Hopefully the harmonic balancer isn't damaged, dude.
Yeah, hopefully everything's still good. We're gonna, I guess that's just gonna come down to it whenever we start it for the first time.
Yep, that is right. We already spun it through, so we know it's not seized up or locked up or anything. But before we tear this apart, let's show you guys what's going on with these frame rails over here.
All right, so now that the engine is out, we can actually see these frame rails a little bit better. Obviously, this is the worst one out of all of them, but we're just looking further back, and it does have some more kinks just following all the way to the back firewall, which that's pretty crazy right there. Hopefully, once we pull these frame rails off, undrill everything, we can kind of straighten that stuff out and get it as best as possible. Shock towers, that's the type of thing that is kind of scaring us a little bit, because I think we're gonna have to pop those out. They unbolt, they're aluminum, so they're not welded onto this thing, and I think they're probably glued in. Same on this side right here. We were thinking we can just slide this frame rail out while unbolting it, but it may have to come down to popping these things off, which that's a lot of work right there. But you know what? That's stuff that can be all done here. Not too crazy. I mean, the only crazy thing is this entire section right here, because you guys know this apron is crushed pretty bad. It's going all the way throughout this whole entire piece. And we even popped this seal off after we did everything just to see how bad it is. And if you can look at that right there, man, that is a 90-degree crease, dude.
Dang.
That is not good. This is one of those frame pieces that excavator might not handle it.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
come on, man. I'm sure we can still do it.
We'll do as much as we can. I mean, we're gonna put everything on this thing that we have here to try to get this thing fixed up. But this piece right here is connected to the roof pillar, the side pillar right here, everything, the firewall. So this is a tough piece right here. You know what I mean?
It is very tough. And you know what? When we were actually walking around the car, we noticed something in a certain lighting. Actually, that damage goes all the way across that pillar and into this roof. You can't really see it, but you can definitely feel it, dude.
Oh yeah, there's literal waves going throughout this whole entire roof, which that is scary right there. But that kind of tells us that when this got hit, it might have like pulled this pillar just a hair down, and that caused a ripple. So sometimes when you're like drilling stuff, doing framework, stuff like that usually pops back into place. So hopefully that happens right there. If anything, we'll change the roof out, maybe throw a carbon one on there. Easy stuff.
Not
That's the
a
least
problem.
of our worries right there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And you know what? If we do have to take this thing to the frame machine for a little bit, I think that's still going to be fine, because most of it will be still rebuilt over here. We'll bring it right back up to the house.
As long as we just pull that stuff out, bring it back, start swapping everything, and just get this thing finished up here and just end it all here at the house.
Yeah, that's right. But right now we're going to still focus on this motor. Let's clear all these damages out. Hopefully there's not any more damages. is a beautiful southern Saturday morning here, guys, and we ended up actually taking off the subframe and rack and pinion from the motor, and we found some pretty crazy damage to this rack and pinion. We seen it a long time ago, but we were trying to find this part, you know, just so we could replace it here soon. And we reached out to the dealership, and that sucker right there is $5,000 from the dealership right there,
There's
dude.
no way.
There is, dude.
Oh my, look how tiny it is.
It's super tiny.
This is probably the same thing off of like a Nissan RAV4 or something, man.
Probably. It's like hydraulic. I guess it's got some fancy tech in it, but the subframe as well. We need one of those suckers. And I was thinking maybe get one of those from the dealership as well. And that thing right there is about $4,000, dude.
Dude, I don't know where they
Doesn't
get
make
those,
sense,
where do
dude.
they get those prices? Because like there's other car manufacturers that are way higher quality with this lower prices than this.
I honestly do not know, but you know what? I did find actually the subframe and the rack and pinion on eBay on off of a low mileage GTR for $1,200, dude. The whole shebang,
that
man.
doesn't even make sense. I would much rather get that than what would you spend, like almost 10 grand
Almost
on both?
10,000. That's insane. So I'm
Engine
super
mounts
happy.
are probably going to be like another 5 grand.
I feel like engine mounts might be reasonable, but
Yeah.
the one that we bought is going to come with the engine mounts as well. So I'm super happy we were able to find that. But as we're ordering these parts, you know, we're still, you know, haven't ordered every little thing for that GTR right there. So we're still searching on Copart for maybe some parts cars.
Yeah.
And I think we found the perfect one. It's actually the exact opposite damage of that right there.
It is smashed, and this one has everything in the front, like all the little bolts, every little plastic piece, everything that we need pretty much.
It's not fixable, basically. The back end is so destroyed, so it's just a parts car. But last night, what was it sitting at?
It was sitting at like what, like $5,000,
Guess what it's sitting at today?
$30,000.
$40,000.
May have to just
Boom.
we may have to just skip that.
That's what I'm saying. We paid $45 for this one right here.
With way less miles,
Way less
way
miles.
newer car, and that damage right there is that's crazy. Did you show them how bad it is in the
I'm
back?
gonna pop it up on the screen.
It is bad in the back.
Crazy.
I thought this wasn't fixable, but that one, I don't know. Maybe somebody has a rear end. You know what I mean?
Maybe, but you know what? I think that the front end of those cars is what's expensive.
the
All those little
motor,
pieces and stuff
Somebody
inside.
can sell that motor, that front bumper.
Yep.
You know, just stuff like that.
What if we bought it and we sold the motor for like, I think 30 grand, and then we got all those parts? It might be worth it.
If somebody wants a motor, let us know.
But that's not what we do. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like if we were like a parts
Selling
seller,
parts
you know?
actually it takes a good bit of time.
Yeah.
You never know. You can sell an engine tomorrow or in a year. So.
Exactly. So we're gonna probably pass on that, and we'll probably just order these parts individually. But anyways, we're about to pick this sucker up with the excavator and start working on that upper oil pan right there. But right quick, let's try to DoorDash an 86-inch TV. We could send Pops, but he's actually bringing water up here. We got a lot of stuff going on. So is it a risk kind of ordering $1,000 worth of stuff on DoorDash? 86.
86 is right.
Dude, how is somebody gonna fit this in their car?
Holding the transmission with one hand.
That's cool right there. Is that a clutch?
It looks like an actual clutch.
Dang, the front diff of a GTR, man.
That's crazy.
so we are running into an issue here. So we got all the bolts pretty much undone off this upper oil pan right here. There was a bunch of hidden bolts kind of even within this oil pan right here that we took off. And there's actually one more thing kind of holding it. Looks like some sort of chain. I don't think it's the timing chain. Maybe it's some sort of chain that goes to a pump, maybe the oil pump, but literally this thing is just stuck in there. And I think what we're gonna have to do is probably have to take off this front case right here, which I believe this is the timing cover, in order to access that chain, in order to pop that pan off right there, which that looks like a ton of work. And you said you noticed some more damage even to this case. Did you say there was a crack or something?
Yeah, there's a crack right here that's the alternator actually bolts down. And
dang, dude.
Honestly, looking at it, it may be second case crack too.
No, don't tell me the second
that's
case,
two cases put together right there. Ain't that
Let
the
me
second
see.
one too? We're gonna have to pretty
We
much rip this
cannot-
whole motor apart.
Dude, we can't catch a break, man.
That's crazy.
I mean, but honestly, if we can get these parts, all we gotta know is just torque specs.
torque
Everything-
specs and where the bolts go back.
Dude, we might have to actually hand sign it right there after we're done with it, dude.
Honestly, we're digging in here. We're gonna dig even more in there.
Dude, this is pretty dang wild. We're gonna have to tear apart pretty much a lot more.
The whole front of this engine.
Whole front of
is
this
gonna be
engine.
gone.
Dang, might as well put some built pistons in there
I
and
was gonna buy
rods.
that parts GTR and just swap the engine.
Maybe.
in.
Honestly, I think we can still fix this. I don't
Yeah.
want to just put that, like, I don't want this to beat us up right here. I think if we get the parts, we're up here on the mountain where it's beautiful, it's
Tear it
relaxing,
apart.
peaceful. We
Be
can
good
tear
to
it
go.
down.
Oh yeah.
But I think as of right now, we probably should call it a day right now.
I'm right there with you.
Throw in the towel, man.
Throw in the towel today.
So the 86-inch DoorDash TV order got completely canceled. I'm guessing because the TV was too big for most cars. So David ran to Walmart, picked up a 98-inch TV right here. Look at this sucker, man.
Dude.
That's massive, man.
I think it's the biggest TV Walmart started selling, and
Heck
this was the
yeah.
last one in stock, dude.
That's awesome, man. I'm happy to have this. You know, we're going to be able to watch some football like we wanted to do after working so hard. So let's get it set up. So we ended up getting this massive TV inside and mounting this sucker up on the wall and watching some good old foosball, and then we called it a day. And of course we just ended up leaving the excavator outside with the GTR motor attached. Even though we checked the weather, the rainstorm still hit us, no big deal. But then the hydraulics on the excavator started slowly going down, the last thing we wanted, and that GTR motor ended up on the ground. So this motor right here, guys, has been an absolute nightmare. It got rained on, and of course it ended up on the ground. The rain I'm not too worried about. I don't think it did anything. But when it was on the ground, I'm afraid that it could have done some damage internally. So basically, we couldn't get this oil pan to go back on or seated properly. So whenever it sits on the ground and the weight of the motor is on it, it kind of puts some tension on that chain in there. And after doing some more research, that chain is actually, I believe, the timing chain. So I didn't want it to get stretched or anything. But unfortunately, you know what? The hydraulics of this excavator just ended up putting it in this grass right here. I mean, there is a chance that it didn't do any damage, but if it did, you know what, we'll take care of it. So not too worried about it. At the end of all this, guys, we're gonna make sure this sucker is rebuilt properly. And that's kind of what we wanted, right? A challenge.